Hey there everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you so much for joining me and welcome to a special review for the Black Crowes Shake Your Money Maker 30th Anniversary Deluxe Edition. This one here being a 3 CD edition of it. I've also got the 2 CD one. We're going to take a look at both of those there and break it all down. And as you can see, this one here never actually opened, still has the hype sticker on it. So we are going to be peeling into this and I'll be opening it and seeing it for the first time with you guys as well. Before we get into this though, if you are new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please click the button. Also leave a comment, hit like, all those things help support my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And of course, as an added bonus, by subscribing, you'll be able to stay up to date on all that's going on in the world of music, just like this. We're taking a look at the Black Crowes 30th Anniversary Edition of Shake Your Money Maker, doing a full unboxing and everything for that. But I want to start off and give you guys some context, some history, as I like to do at the beginning of these things. And so the band itself formed in 1984, but didn't release this, their debut album, until 1990. Now, when it came out, it ultimately became one of the biggest selling debut albums in history, going on to sell 5 million copies just in the US alone. In all, they've released 8 total studio albums throughout their career, and they've had sort of an ups and down kind of a career where they've done some extended breaks. They've broken up a couple different times, formed at different times over the years, and now with the recent reformation, they've gone out on the road and they are touring the Shake Your Money Maker album in its entirety. So you can go out and see that. You can pick up this 30th Anniversary Deluxe Edition of it here, and so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Debut studio album, and the only one that features guitarist Jeff Cease on it, who would leave after this album here. This one peaked at number 4 on the Billboard 200 album chart and featured 4 huge singles that came off of it: Jealous Again, Hard to Handle, Twice as Hard, and of course the ubiquitous ballad at the time, She Talks to Angels. And they did have a 5th single that was from the album, Seeing Things, not quite as big as those first 4, but 5 total singles were released from this, and as I mentioned, went on to sell 5 million copies. So even before the album itself became the classic that it is today, the album's sound was very classic, and I think that's one of the things that made it stand apart at the time and made it so different from what was going on at the time. You know, this was coming out during glam metal, when glam metal was king. This was 1990. 1991 had not happened. Nirvana's Nevermind had not come out yet, so glam metal was still at the top. This album came out, and this one here, was managed to somehow stand on its own, showing that it had more depth than a lot of other bands out at the time. And so while this album itself still very polished, like the sound was at the time, the album itself is a straight ahead rock album, just pure and simple rock and roll. And that's really what was needed at that time. Glam metal had grown tiring. Don't get me wrong, I love my glam metal, but something new, something different, and so it's sort of a return to form of that 1970s classic rock feel. That's where this album was. But here we are now 30 years on from the album, and it shows just how classic that this album was, still being able to stand on its own 2 feet, even now when everything has changed and done what it is, and generally has been considered one of the best debut albums and one of the best rock albums of the early 90s. So let's take a look at this. I want to start with the 2 CD one here. So this one here, it has the original 11 album track album itself, but then there is the second disc in here called More Moneymaker, Unreleased Songs and B-Sides, and that's also on this one here that we're going to get into in a minute. And there's 10 tracks that are part of that. It's got the first 5 tracks are studio tracks, and we've got the song Charming Mess, which is an outtake that was actually released as a single when they put this out, so you've maybe heard that. But then it's got some cover songs that are on here. It's got 30 Days in the Hole, Don't Wake Me, Jealous Guy, Waiting Guilty. Then we get into some demos that are on here. We've got Hard to Handle. Well, this one is with a horns remix, but we've got Jealous Again acoustic version, and She Talks to Angels an acoustic version. Then at the end of those demo songs I was talking about, where there's a She Talks to Angels Mr. Crow's Garden version. That's an early version of this, and Front Porch Sermon, Mr. Crow's demo version as well. But I wanted to get into this. This is the thing that we're here to take a look at. I've never opened mine, so I'm going to be opening it up right here with you. The hype sticker on this thing says that it's curated by Rich Robinson from the archives, featuring some previously unreleased music, including the Atlanta, Georgia concert that was a homecoming concert for them, and 15 tracks on that. And then it also has an exclusive patch, flyer, and tour pass on it. So let's get into this here. Let me see where I can actually get a hold and sort of tear the plastic there. So we're going to do that. I'm going to get into this kind of easy here, because you guys know I like to save these hype stickers whenever I can. So we're going to pull that off nice and slow. There we go. Put that down. And then this thing here designed like a vinyl release, and I'm just going to open it. Wanted to make sure this stuff hadn't shifted around. This is what you see on the inside. So the 3 CDs in the back of this thing, and then the cool merch and stuff like that there. I'm going to pull that out for you in just a second. And then the back side, which has the original album. Then it has the More Moneymaker that we were just talking about, and there's the live concert track listing that's on here. But getting into this thing here, part of the reason that I had picked this up is it came in a jewel case. And as you can see here, I wasn't expecting the vinyl size version of this when it came out. I thought this would be the size of a regular CD, but maybe it would be in a cardboard packaging that size. And instead it came like this. So I actually never got into it, went out, bought the jewel case edition, and have been enjoying that ever since. But this has some cool stuff in it. So first thing I'm going to pull out is that cool patch that it comes with, which matches the cover. This was also on used as a picture disc for them at the time. I had a copy of that. I think it was the Twice as Hard single. We have a backstage pass, very cool, and it's one of the vinyl or fabric ones, I should say. So that's kind of cool too. Actually has a nice background on this thing too, not just plain white. So that's always nice when they go a little bit extra mile for you there. Then we've got a Mr. Crow's Garden flyer, and what they don't tell you is on the back side of this, it's got a set list on it. So that's really cool. That's a little added bonus. I actually feel like they should have stated that up front. Just me being a fan of set lists and things of that nature, I dig that. Now here's a very cool thing too. They don't tell you that there is a book as part of this. And so I didn't know that. One of the things, and I'm going to show it to you, I'll take out and show you the booklet that comes with the 2 CD edition, and I was a little bummed that there wasn't more to it than that. And you can see from this here that there's writing inside of this. So probably telling the story and everything about it. I'm going to look forward to getting into that. Just goes to show you should open your stuff right away, right? Don't wait like I did on this here. But I do like to wait until I'm really in the mood for it. And recently they just released their brand new covers EP called 1972, which I've done a full review for as well. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. And so that has really gotten me back into the Black Crowes. I've now done an album ranking. I'm going to leave a link for you guys as well. And it made me want to dive into this. And I was glad to have something that I hadn't opened that I could sink my teeth into. So I'm going to be enjoying this and that live show for the rest of the day. And of course, in the back of this, then we have the 3 CDs. But let me show you the 2 CD edition now. So we have the same cover on it, and we open it up. And I'm going to pull out the booklet portion of this. And this is very limited by comparison. No writing in here, just a lot of cool photographs of merch and stuff like that, which I thought was cool at the time for this here. But now having seen that this deluxe edition comes with the book, I feel like that should have been part of the hype sticker, the backstage pass, this, the patch, and the Mr. Crow's Garden thing, which turns out to have a set list on the back. You know, even better there. What more can you ask for in terms of all of that? So kind of cool. Glad I do have 2 versions of this thing now. Funny thing is, when I actually got this here, I did buy this right when it came out, and there was a problem with the mastering of the disc, because instead of it having the More Moneymaker, even though that's what it said on the back of it, it had the live show. So the CD was different than what was actually said to be on it. I had to return it. I held out and waited a few months and then ordered it again. to make sure that they had made that correction by that time. Now I've got that one there. So anyway, bottom line on this release here, for me, the classic album itself is even more classic now, especially with the bonus material that they added in that I talked about, those 5 studio tracks that are on this thing, whether cover songs or outtakes or whatnot. Then you get some alternate editions of things on here. But that second disc that's on this thing, the more moneymaker disc, is a great disc in and of itself just to listen to. I think they curated it the right way, making this really quite worthwhile. So whether you go for the 2 CD edition that has that, or the 3 CD, which also has the studio stuff, and the live show now that's part of this here, which I hear is really great quality. I did check it out back when I had the incorrect version of it, but I'm going to be listening to it in far more detail now going forward. I do think either of these are worthy of your collection and worth checking out, so hopefully you will. And there you go. That is the Black Crowes Shake Your Money Maker 30th anniversary, either 2 CD or 3 CD deluxe edition of it. As I mentioned, I got some related video for you guys if you want to check out the 1972 covers EP by the band and the album ranking of all 8 studio albums by the Black Crowes. Going to leave links to both of those in the description below. You can check that out. And certainly if you've enjoyed this video, consider sharing it out on social media. Help spread the word that way for both my channel and for the Black Crowes. We would both greatly appreciate it. All right, everyone, take care. Have a great day, and I'll talk to y'all real soon. Bye-bye.